your night alone. Tomorrow, we start another 2-week tour.
Well, I gotta get home.
No. What you gonna do is get this money.
What's up, y'all? What is up? And welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, but you can call me EJ. And y'all, I am back with another P-Valley review and recap. And we are going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 5. Let's get into it, y'all. Now, this week's episode was out in the ATL, so you know it was only fitting for them to bring out the Puerto Rican princess, so that was definitely a nice little touch. Now, y'all, before we get deep into this review, make sure to go ahead and like, share, turn on your notifications, and don't forget to subscribe to your girl channel. Now, y'all, the episode is going to start out with your boy Rome trying to give Mississippi a deal for some wigs. Now, he's basically just trying to work out all the details. Now, this is going to be Mississippi night. You know, we had murder night. Now we got Mississippi night. And this night is all about her. So she's going to go out there and she's going to be doing her thing. And Rome is basically just trying to hype her up and get her ready for this situation, letting her know, hey, this is your night. This is your night alone. You know, do your thing. And, you know, just pretty much making sure that she's ready. And then your girl Mississippi, of course, you know, she's just, you know, trying to get it together because Rome just hit her with that whole, you know, they got to do another 2 weeks of the tour. And, you know, basically he hits her with a little aggressiveness, letting her know that, hey, you know, you got to get out here and get this money. But he also threw in the fact that basically we trying to get you out this situation. So I guess it's safe to say that Rome does kind of know what's going on with her situation as well. So he kind of comes off as caring in this particular scene. Little boy Murder is out here sulking because he can't perform Mississippi Pride in the ATL of all places, y'all. And he's just kind of out here, you know, stating his grievances, I guess you can say. And then Big Tik is like, look, like don't no freaking ATLians want to hear no Mississippi Pride. And then of course Rome is gonna kind of come back it up and just be like, hey, this ain't murder night, this Mississippi night, and kind of dead to that. But then your girl Jocelyn Hernandez pops out. Now, you know it was only fitting if you're gonna be in the ATL to definitely have some ATL representation. So even your boy Tik is excited to see Jocelyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, your boy Tik knows a bad bitch when he see it, okay? Look at your boy. He is out here smiling like a mug, and Murder is in the background, you know, definitely happy to see her as well. So anyway, y'all, she's gonna do a little dance, you know what I'm saying? Do a little dance, get some dollars, 5s, 10s, 100s, whatever. I don't know what they throwing out in there. But anyway, y'all, she's going to do her little thing. And, you know, we definitely got to say something about Jessica Dime, because if you ever saw Love and Hip Hop, then you definitely saw all of, you know, the ATLians, as T calls them. But anyway, y'all, Mississippi is going to do her thing out on that pole. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to go into a background of Mississippi. This is where they're going to kind of take us back and let us know when she first kind of meets Derek. So it appears she's going to be trying out for the cheerleading squad. Doesn't look like she's really going to be that good at it. She looks kind of stiff up there, to be honest. So she might be scared. I know I'd probably be scared if I was up in the air. But she falls. And this is where she first meets Derek. She's going to fall, and he's actually going to be the one to help her up. And, you know, I guess that's just kind of where it starts. Our girl Gidget, looks like they've been friends for a while. As you can see, it looks like they were friends in high school. So I guess we kind of see where that relationship kind of stems from now. But anyway, we're also going to meet Alicia. Alicia is going to be Mississippi's sister, her stepsister rather, as Mississippi definitely makes that clear that this is her stepsister. Now, her stepsister seems to be good at cheerleading, so she definitely is probably the sister that is just good at everything and the one that they probably dote on a lot. You can kind of tell from the antics with her and her other sister, Veronica. But anyway, this is also the moment where Derek is going to step in and he's going to take up and kind of defend Mississippi's honor. So here you're going to see where some guys on the football team are going to be hassling her, and like, I don't really know why. It doesn't even make sense for them to say that she that she didn't look good because, okay, never mind. These are high school kids. This is what high schoolers do. Some of the shit they do just don't make sense most of the time. But anywho, Derek is actually gonna whoop their ass. Now look, I typically do not condone violence, y'all, at all. But spit is nasty. And this fool spit on the back of his neck. And I cannot stand no freaking spit. Do not be spitting on people. That is gross, and that is one of the highest forms of disrespect that you can give somebody. So Derek basically whoops the football team's ass, you know what I'm saying? I guess they thought he was just this little cheerleader and couldn't do anything. But anyway, speaking of cheerleading, Mississippi definitely does not make that cheerleading squad, and her sister Alicia does. But I put this in here because I wanted to kind of just talk about Alicia just a smidget, because in this scene we see how she's caring towards Mississippi, and she's going to do the same thing in a few other scenes as well. Like, she's always just trying to see if she's okay. So I think it would be interesting if they ever brought this sister into the story, because we know Mississippi's story is not over. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're learning the history, but we definitely know that there's a lot more to come and a lot more evolving for this character. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring the sister back in at some point, you know, in a present day situation. So y'all, this is Mississippi's home. This is where she lives. So definitely see that they are probably doing pretty well off. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't come from no home where, you know, where they didn't have means. Let's just say it like that. It looks like she comes from a nice home. And then we're going to be introduced to the stepmom, y'all. Now, this stepmom is just doing way too much. But, I mean, she giving off stepmama-ish vibes. Although there's some great stepmoms out there. At least want to put that out there. But she is definitely giving off bad stepmom vibes. It all comes apparent when she first says... when she says something about raising 2 daughters, and then Mississippi has to remind her, like, bitch, you got 3 daughters, you know what I mean? Like, that you're raising. And then she says, oh, I have to get used to that. So I don't know, y'all. Like, I just, from the moment this character kind of steps on the scene, you can kind of see that she's going to be an issue for Mississippi. Now, Mississippi is given the task of doing Loronica's hair. Loronica is the other sister, and she accidentally burns her ponytail off, and the mama is not happy. But even in this moment, the mom is saying something like, I think she tells her, she's cut off her baby's crown and this is what makes her pretty. Like, dude, come on. Like, I know all about hair, and I know how our hair makes us feel and all that stuff, but you don't tell your daughter that she basically not pretty just because her hair got chopped off, because essentially that's almost what she said. Like, you cut her hair off and you're taking away her beauty. No, she's still beautiful regardless, and the hair will grow back. Now, y'all, this is where your boy Derek actually steps up, and he is going to see Keyshawn walking home in the rain, and he's going to offer her a ride in his Prius, y'all. And then they're going to go and actually have like a little date. Now, they are going to end up at a restaurant, and yes, your girl, the Patricia Woodbine, is going to be there. She is the waitress, and she's like, girl, you know, get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because he paying, he got it. You know what I'm saying? So her nosy ass, always in somebody else's business, you know, had to put her 2 cents in. But this is when they go on their first date, and they're kind of getting closer. Then it kind of switches over to show you a little background of the sisters and the stepmom. So apparently the dad is gone again. He clearly stays out of town a lot. And from what she told us of how they met, because the daughters are going to be asking her, how did they meet? And she's going to tell that they met when she was serving him a drink on a plane or whatever. So clearly she must have been a flight attendant, and, you know, she served him a drink. But then Keyshawn makes it very clear, like, hey, you're leaving out some of the major parts of this story. What about you served his wife a drink as well? What about her? What about how you're a homewrecker? So you can definitely see that there is some tension between the mom and Keyshawn. Now, what we don't ever really find out is where Keyshawn's mom is. Like, is she still in whatever this other city was. I can't remember the name of it. Is she still there? And why isn't Keyshawn with her? Why is Keyshawn with the dad? Like, there's still a lot of those unanswered questions that I don't think this episode really took care of. But nonetheless, Keyshawn gets some food thrown on her and she throws some food back. And then I think probably the best line of this is when she tells her, like, look, don't get it twisted. Yeah, I might come off bougie, but I'm not bougie. Listen, I will pull out the Beretta. So anyway, they kind of have that whole argument thing there. And then I guess the dad comes home and you can hear him and her arguing about the situation. Now, y'all, meanwhile, back in the present day, your girl just did her performance and now, everybody's coming and showing her some love. And this is where we're going to get our Puerto Rican princess is going to come over there and hit her with some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And they portray her as the godmother in this. So check out this scene.
And finally, her fairy godmother had arrived. Life was finna be on Liddy in a bitty. She was one step closer to the tower.
What y'all doing out here?
Should I bow or something?
Bitch, if you want to. Make sure you pick up the hundreds off the floor, though.
She could let down her hair and finally be free.
Let's go take some more shots.
Yeah, seriously, let's celebrate.
Celebration.
Yes.
You remind me of me once upon a time. You gonna make it out of here. Cause your belly growling.
Oh, damn.
Bitch is a fucking metaphor. Come here. Let me tell you something. To them, you gonna always be a hoe. They ain't gonna never let you forget that. But that's cool. Cause like her sister Cardi B said, a hoe ain't never cold.
What, you want me to come by your suite and dance for you?
Nah. A bad bitch just needs to talk to another bad.
Okay, y'all. So we're finally actually going to get a chance to meet the dad now in this scene. So as you can see here, it looks like they're getting ready for the dance. And Keyshawn, of course, didn't have a date or anything like that. So she's just kind of there looking at all of the festivities and activities that are happening. Now, the sisters are getting ready to go. You can see the mom there. And then he's going to ask Keyshawn to basically to take photos for him. So this is where we're actually going to get a cringeworthy scene because you're going to see that the dad is going to be holding Alicia, inappropriately, to be honest, and then he's also going to be focusing a lot of his attention on her. He's going to kiss her on the forehead. He never actually focuses his attention on Veronica at all in this way, but just to Alicia. And you can see her face and you can see that there's definitely some kind of pain and trauma there. And to be honest, it's just very sickening to look at. Now, y'all, in comes your boy Derek, coming in like a white knight for real. He has this dress ready for Keyshawn, has these shoes, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has the whole get up. Now, he definitely did his thing because this dress is nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks really good. So Derek has style, it looks like. But he does that, of course. And, this is like a nice gesture, and this kind of is probably what solidifies the deal. And then they go to the dance or what now. Now, they don't go to this dance, the one that I'm showing you on the screen, because if you remember in the scene, when they're at the lunch table, Veronica is talking about how they have two separate proms, basically, because the city has gotten more people of color in it. The people who were there already, who are not of color, decided to have their own dance situation. So they basically have two. So I ain't gonna lie, I'd much rather be at this one because this one looked like it's lit. This other one just, looked like it may not be as lit as the other one was. But anyway, in this scene, you're gonna see his mom actually come up and kind of give them this look. You can tell from this moment that they definitely don't approve. But you know, they probably just have to put on an act. Now, Keyshawn realizes that the bruises that Derek has on him is not from the fall like he said it was. So at this moment, she learns that Derek's father is abusive. Hey, so your boy Derek is gonna get lucky, and they are definitely gonna go ahead and get it on after he did all of these nice gestures. And they have this connection of whatever it is, probably lust more than anything, but nevertheless, they there now. So anyway, y'all, she comes home after curfew, and this is where she sees the stepmom that's sitting there. And I put this in here because at this moment is where we see that the stepmom is going through it as well. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting there drinking late at night. She's looking like just, you know, this way like a woman whose husband is probably not at home, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? She's probably up because of that. But she tells her that, you know, hey, I'm not going to tell your father because the other girls hadn't made it home either. So I'm not going to tell your father. And then she goes on to tell her about, you know, how that dress is snug on her and how it fits. And she was saying something about it being custom, or I can't remember the exact wording of it. But the most important part to remember here is that she then tells her, you know, but you didn't pick that dress out, basically. You didn't pick that dress out. And to be careful of becoming a man's Barbie doll. You know what I mean? And he'll always find another one to buy. So she's basically trying to put her up on game and trying to, you know, give her some advice. But at the same time, you can't help but feel like she's talking about herself in a way as well, because as we heard earlier in the scene, you know, her relationship with Keyshawn's father was not from no traditional type of stuff. This was definitely on some messy stuff. She definitely, you know, came in when he had a wife already. And you know how they say that goes sometimes. Sometimes you kind of get what you give, and it might be karma. But in this case, not only did she get a cheating man, but she also got a pedophile. So I don't know. Her mama, she got a lot to work through. So y'all, meanwhile, present day, you know, Keyshawn just had her big night, you know what I mean? And so they back at the hotel turning up, and y'all, I know y'all see Tik over there in that corner turned up. I'm starting to think that Tik is a little bipolar or something, because one moment he be good and he be lit, and then the next moment he just be out of there. And typically it's every time Murder say something. I don't know. He might not be bipolar after all. He might just be going through something with Murder. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. That's a video. That's something for a whole nother video. But anyway, y'all, as you can see, once again, your boy Tik looks like he's completely fine. But you're going to notice that throughout this entire night, they're going to be just giving these weird vibes with each other. You know, it's just, everybody can see it, to the point where they think this in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, Keyshawn is like, are these, you know, are they, you know, screwing or whatever? You see it on the screen, y'all. And then your boy Wodie is going to be backdooring it with something similar, like the same thing that she thinking. So they are definitely giving off the vibes, and they are not really good at this at all. But anyway, meanwhile, your boy Rome comes in, and check out this scene, y'all.
Murder. Murder.
What's poppin'?
I got your keys, bruh.
Yeah, nigga finna lay his crown at them pier for the first time in life. After we slide through that part, I'ma hit that slab hard.
What did Little Murder say, y'all? Like, what was that? I literally have to turn the subtitles on sometimes just so I can make sure that I'm getting all these words correct. So, according to this what Little Murder said down here, y'all. Is that what y'all got from that? Like, real talk. Dang, Murder. Anyway, y'all, so it looks like Rome is basically like, hey, you know, I've done enough for y'all. Y'all on your own. Y'all can't come through. And only Keyshawn can come through. You know what I mean? So Big Tik ain't really feeling this. And this is when he, you know, comes through and he's like, look, we don't need nothing from you. You know what I'm saying? Even though that ain't what it sounded like. If you look down below, you'll see what he said, but it didn't sound like that. It went so fast. I was like, wait a minute. What'd he say? But anyway, y'all. So Big Seek is not feeling it at all. And he threw that key back in him. And he's like, I'm going to go lay in the hearse because he ain't got time for Rome. And as usual, your boy Wodie is just sitting in the back, sitting in the cut, and he just ain't saying nothing at all. Wodie is always on some I'm a chill type. I ain't saying nothing. That's why I likes Wodie, and that's why you always got to watch out for this type of dude right here. You know what I mean? Anyway, y'all, this moment that we get our first glimpse of Wodie kind of having this protective instinctual thing about him with Keyshawn, you know what I'm saying? He's telling her, like, you know, I don't like your hair, because he's like, I like the hair that grew out of your head. You know what I mean? So he's paying attention to her. So this is the first time that we really get to see him in this caring role. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and if they're going to play on this any further, as far as maybe potentially pursuing something further from them once she is no longer in this other relationship. Okay, y'all. So now we're back in the past again, and now we're going to go back and see where Keyshawn is actually pregnant with Derek's first child. And this is where we're going to see their dynamics change, and this is where we're going to see the shift, and where we're going to see where he has all this animosity and anger from her. Because if you remember at the beginning of the episode when they first meet, he's going to be talking about how he has this scholarship, this cheerleading scholarship, and yada, 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 and all this stuff. You know, he has this future planned out, but now that she's gotten pregnant, in his mind, you know, something, you know, it's changed for him, and he sees it a little bit differently. So your girl, of course, is eating her moon pies as usual, and she don't like these old, you know, those bibs, and he didn't like the way that she came about and how she said it, and so he, at that moment, chokes her, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say, you know, that this is probably where everything, you know, went downhill from here. So he chokes her out, and I'm sure that she probably passes out, is what it seems like. As you look at the episode, she probably passed out. But anyway, and, you know, in comes Derek the abuser, you know, being just like his father. So anyway, then we move back into the present day. And in the present day, you know, Mississippi is getting ready for this party because she's supposed to go meet up with Jocelyn and the other ladies. And so she's goes up to Rome, and of course she you know, she's going to talk to him about getting the keys and all that type of stuff. And he's telling her that this hair deal has fell through, and instead he wants her to do this stripper shoe thing. And she's just like, you know, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this hair thing because, you know, that's going to give her more profits because it has a wider margin, versus the stripper shoes is going to be for a selected few, and she's not going to make as much. So it definitely shows that Keyshawn knows what she's talking about. There's going to be a scene later where she's going to say how stupid she is, but the girl definitely ain't stupid. And it's kind of like what Wodie says. You might be a little bit ambitious or naive, but you definitely not stupid, because she definitely hit the head on the mark. It is very much more lucrative for her to be selling those wigs than it is going to be for her to be selling those shoes. But anyway, this is where we find out that Rome is actually a creep. You know what I'm saying? And he decides that he's going to come in and try to make his move, which is probably why he told Murder Them that they couldn't come, because he knew what he was going to try to do. You know what I'm saying? And so this is where he shows his true colors, and where he just turned into a real fuckboy. You know what I'm saying? So he comes in there with his robe exposed. You know what I'm saying? You can see his junk, and I'm sure that's very uncomfortable at that point, as you can kind of see the Mississippi is just looking like, oh my God, like what in the world is happening? And he got this camera on. He just doing way too much. So anyway, he goes on to tell her, you know, hey, he tells her about murder. He basically puts his cards out on the table about what he wants from her. And then he shows her the video of murder and what's been going on with him. And like, he basically knows. And then he basically tells her that she ain't nothing but a hoe and all this other stuff. So then she kind of realizes that, you know, this is about to turn real bad real quick. And then he proceeds to try to attack her. And it's just a horrible scene to even have to watch. But Rome is he's truly a fuck boy, but we all knew that from the jump. Probably didn't know he was going to go this far, but we all knew that he definitely was not what he was portraying to be. So anyway, she's able to get away from him, and simultaneously, as she's running from him in this scene, she's also running away from Derek in the past, and she's running to someone that she feels is supposed to protect her or that can help protect her. In this case, she runs home to her father, to her family. But instead, her stepmother basically turns her away and tells her that she got to work this stuff out on her own. You know what I'm saying? And she asked about her dad, and she was like, he feels the same way. Now, you can see her sister Alicia in the background, and you can see where she looks like she ain't feeling what's going on, because the mom is like, I can't have my girls around this. You know what I'm saying? Once again, making sure that she knows that she's not included in that whole girl situation, like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like we really need to have this sister pop up, because I feel like this is the sister that truly really cared about Keyshawn, but because she was experiencing her own trauma and going through her own situation, she wasn't really in no position to try to help or say or do anything anyway. And then on the other hand, in the present day, you have Keyshawn is running to Wodie. You know what I'm saying? And Wodie is there for her, and he comforts her, and she tells him about that video and how she just wants to go home. So, of course, that's what happens next. He takes her home, and y'all already know Wodie is always thinking 2 steps ahead. So y'all already know. But anyway, in the past, Keyshawn actually has to go back to what, honestly, I don't really want to call it a home, but it's the only place that she got to go. So she has to go back to Derek. And of course, Derek is going to try to make that grand gesture. That's where we saw all those roses in that scene that we saw last week. So he puts all these flowers out. I don't know how he had all the time to do that. I'm just saying, like, it feels like this was a short period of time, because they turned her away immediately. So I don't know how he had time to get all these flowers into this room or whatnot and have the crib up and all this. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, nevertheless, he does that, and he apologizes for the first time and says that it's not going to happen again. But we all know that that's bullshit, because it's still happening right now. So anyway, Keyshawn actually makes it home back to her family. She's back from the Dirty Dozen tour after what has transpired. And she's talking to Derek. And, I'm sorry, I just saw the baby. She's so cute. Anyway, she's talking to Derek about what happened. And he was like, I thought you were supposed to be out longer or whatnot. And, she tells him, she makes something to tell him. And then she realizes that her son, I believe his name is Jaden, if I'm not mistaken, is not right. Like, something is wrong. And so she ends up taking him to the doctor. And when she takes him to the doctor, that's when she finds out that, his elbow or something is dislocated or was out of place. And then she's also going to see these bruises on his back, which she didn't know was there. And so now not only is Derek hitting her, but he's also abusing their children now. So now this just stepped up a level. Now, I think in my last video, I was like, I don't think Keyshawn is going to leave unless something drastic happens. And I feel like this might be the drastic thing that happens that's going to cause her to try to leave. So now, anyway, she's going to get back home. And of course, she's going to confront Derek about it. Because, she's a mom, and that's what moms do. She gonna take this ass whooping because she know that that's what's going to happen. But she also gonna let him know, hey, don't be putting your hands on my son. You can touch me, but don't touch these kids. Now, of course, that isn't going to go over well with your boy, Derek, and he's going to lay hands on her like he always does, and he's going to drag her down the hallway. And then he's going to start to, even go further with it and try to put an iron to her face. And she's just like, look, don't anywhere else but not my face. You know what I'm saying? Because her face is her moneymaker. You know what I'm saying? And this is her way out. So she can't have him damaging her face. But it is truly a sad situation to see a man feel like he has to hit a female in order to get his point across, and let alone hit and abuse his children. There is definitely a far cry from giving your kids a spanking, which he tries to explain to Keyshawn that he spanked his children. That was definitely not a spank. Now, y'all, for anyone, if you know anyone that's experiencing any type of situations like this, then definitely make sure that you're trying to get them any type of help that you can, even if it's just as, just giving them phone numbers that they need to try to, do something. Now, y'all, your boy Wodie goes over to visit Rome, and he's like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you, got some questions I want to talk to you about murder or whatnot. So they go in and they, are having a conversation, and Wodie gives him some coke, because Rome definitely likes his drugs, and Rome is like, hey, I only do premium stuff. And, Wodie, he is chill, and he, hands him, the drugs or whatever. But, Rome is kind of peeping game, and he's like, you know what? You do it first. But if you take a look at that scene when Wodie actually does the drugs, he doesn't do either one of those lines that he puts out of the one that he gave him. He does another line that was already on the table. So that's the reason why it doesn't affect him at all. So anyway, Wodie's sitting there talking to him, and he's like, hey, he trying to ask him about what transpired, why Keyshawn left, and all that stuff. And he's just trying to see if, Rome is going to give him an answer, and Rome is giving him some bullshit, you know what I mean? And then Wodie starts to talk to him about, his mom, because I don't know if y'all remember, but that's, I think, how they actually kind of met, is because Wodie actually did his mom's funeral. So he talks about that. He asked him where the tape is, and Rome is still trying to catch his breath. He's still trying to get it together, so he at this moment, I think he might realize that it might be over for him. But, we can't sleep on Wodie, because, I felt like Wodie was going to do something. Didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be something slick, and I knew it was going to be something that you wasn't going to see coming. But I definitely didn't think it was going to be this exactly, but I knew somebody was going to get killed on this season, because your boy Wodie did that whole wink of the eye, and it didn't look like he was actually, like they were playing the game. It looked like this might be real. So anyway, in this episode, Wodie does that wink, and, your boy, he met with his maker, you know what I'm saying? Like he meets the end, and Wodie is like, hey, everybody don't get this type of kindness. They don't get somebody to lead them, across this path, So Wodie basically takes out Rome, so he can protect his artist. But also I think it was, for Keyshawn as well. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was a mixture of all of it, because all this time we've been seeing Wodie pay attention. We've been seeing him lurking, even when others don't see him there. He's just been watching and paying attention. He just doesn't react. He's not like a big T who reacts and wants to fight all the time. He is somebody who stays in the cut and pays attention, and then clearly he makes his move when the time is right. So he actually gave him some fentanyl, is what it looks like. And because Wodie is a mortician, he kind of knows the game. So, your boy Rome is gone. So everybody wanted Rome gone, and now he is. And I'm definitely glad that this character is gone, and now we can move on to some other stuff in the show. So Wodie walks out, and that's it. I don't think this is ever going to come back to haunt him. It's just going to look like it was an overdose, and it is what it is. Okay, y'all, so that's what's up with the recap of season 2, episode 5 of P-Valley. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Did you see that coming where Wodie was about to take Rome out? I know a lot of us knew that something was going to happen, but did you see or did you think in any type of way that he was actually going to kill Rome? And also, what do you think is going to happen with Mississippi? Do you think that she is finally going to leave Derek now that he is actually abusing their children as well? So definitely a lot of conversations to be had. So go ahead and start those conversations down in the comments. And until next time, peace.